Hey, ladies, welcome to the Single Moms United podcast. Thank you so much for joining. And if you're a repeat listener, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to a brand new, fresh episode of Single Moms United podcast. Remember, this podcast is designed to encourage and motivate you, single mom. You are under so much stress and things going on, trying to keep your household running functionally and keeping your kids positive. You're trying to stay positive. You just have so much going on that sometimes you lose that enthusiasm of trying to be who you are and reflect your identity. And also, when we're so involved with different things and stressors, we get paralyzed by our problem. We lose sight of our goals because we're trying to be the best parent that we know how to be. And kudos, Mom. Kudos to you for taking the challenge, because this is not short term by any means. It is long term. So as long as you have breath in your body and your child has breath in their body, you're going to be a mom. You're going to be a mom. And even though I'm not in my 20s anymore, I'm still a mom. My kids are still alive and well, and I'm still alive and halfway well. But this is a lifelong thing. This is long term. This is something. Your title is not going to change next month, next year, next 3 years. It's not going to change. So you have to learn to embrace your title. Now, whether you're a single mom or a mom, period, you're a mother. You're a mother. You're a mom. Okay, so now that we've established that, right, we have to understand why we are a single mom or a mom. And I'm not even going to go there right now. Why we are a single mom, right? Because we all know better that unprotected sex leads to a child, a baby. We all know that. And if we don't, then somewhere along the journey, we overlooked or went to sleep or something, because if you didn't learn about it at home, you certainly learned about it in the street or at school. So you know that unprotected sex leads to a child. Thank you for making the decision to have the child and owning up to, okay, yeah, I did this. The baby is here. Let me step up to the plate and do what I have to do. I wasn't going to point fingers at nobody and this, that, and the other. Listen, I'm a mom. I'm stepping up to the plate and I'm going to do the best that I can to raise my children. Now, keep in mind, there is not a perfect mother. There are good and bad moms. Okay, so which one are you going to be? In my mind, a good mom is she teaches her child. Not only is she providing, make sure they have, but she's teaching them along the way in preparation for release to the world as they get older. A bad mom is just the opposite. They're not doing that. And then they also are pointing the finger at everybody else of what they didn't do. Today, I want to talk about sex as it relates to relationship. That's why we're in this situation. And if you love them, great. But then now you're left with raising the child or children on your own. I want you to think about why. Even myself, when raising my children, it became lonely. I wanted to have a male companion in my life. I liked my handheld. I liked him holding me. I liked all of those things that he brought to the table. And it made me feel more secure, right? and I can talk and engage with him on an adult level. And when you have children, you don't have that opportunity, right? And so it's great to have a man in your life. But here's the thing you have to think about from a man's perspective. And I just want to share it with you. And then I'm going to throw in my own little tidbits of my thoughts. But this is something you should think about, Mom. It when or if you plan on getting into another relationship. Number one, you got to think about the prior relationship that produced a child. What happened there and why you are where you are now without the father being present. And if he is present, kudos. But most of us, the father wasn't present or isn't present in the child's life, in your life. So why is that? So think about that first before you get into that next relationship. Now, this is what this gentleman had to say, and I just want to share it with you, young ladies, as you decide to get into another relationship and possibly have another child. This is a guy's perspective regarding sex. Now, he says a woman has sex because she wants the man. A man has sex because he wants sex. See the difference? The mindset is totally different for the genders. We want to be with a gentleman because our emotions are coming to the top, right? We see him, he looks fine and says all the right things. And Lord have mercy if he has that deep voice and he calls you and says, oh my gosh, you just melt. Okay, I just melt. But anyway, it's like, okay. And remember, I just said we like to be held. We like our hands held. Those are the things that we want. It's all about our emotions. Well, with a man has sex just because he wants sex. Has nothing to do with emotions. And that's why it's so easy for him to go over to Sally Sue or to wink at Mary Lou. That's why it's easy for him to do that because there's no emotion involved with him. Think about that, ladies. And for those of you that caught your baby father cheating, right? There's your indicator right there. He just wanted what he needed for that moment. And he got it and moved on. And that's why he's checking out someone else. Here's the thing, sex is physical for the man because there's no emotions attached. Where a woman, she has the emotions and the physical part of wanting in that relationship. And a woman can have sex because of love or think she's in love. Where a man can have sex just because it's something to do. It's just like going out and buying a hamburger. You're hungry, I want a hamburger. So he can either go to McDonald's or Burger King or whatever the hamburger joint is. And unfortunately, and I hate to say this in my out loud voice, but ladies, we're hamburger to some men. And as a result of the hamburger, we produce a Whopper Jr. Him wanting the Whopper, no emotion when it comes to a man seeking after a woman. And keep in mind, before most women can have sex with a guy, she has to have feelings. She has to be attracted to him. That's not the same with men. Well, most men are attracted to some form of the body, right? Or the facial, their visual, that's when they become focused on trying to get the young lady. And that's why when a young lady walks by in something tight and they're like, good. Where most women, we're not like that, right? We see a nice looking guy and it's like, oh, he's nice looking. And keep it moving. We ain't daydreaming about them per se and what they can do in the bed and so forth and so on. Most women having sex with a man that she doesn't love pretty much doesn't exist, except if she's a lady of the night, a prostitute. And that's why men find it easy to hire a prostitute because there's no attachment. They have that expectation up front. We're going to do this little thing and be over with. They don't have to worry about ever seeing that individual again, and the prostitute doesn't have to worry about ever seeing him again. Therefore, it's easy for them to basically exchange body fluids. How about that? And everybody goes their own way. Where most women were not like that, right? When we truly care or want to care for a man. Now, as a woman, a man can use you to feed his sexual desires. He can even give you money. He can take you out, all because he wants sex, but not you. Think about that, ladies. Think about, and that's why we become so hurt when we find him cheating or doing other things with another woman. For some men, it means absolutely nothing. And that's sad. And it's even sadder because a child gets produced, a man just wanting sex and no relationship. And so that's why it's easy for them to turn their back on the child. Because they just don't care. They just wanted sex. They didn't sign up for a child. That's why they can talk to you any kind of way. Because you were just, for lack of a better term, a piece, a side piece. Hate that word? Hate that word. But you were just a piece. You fulfilled what he needed. And now he's moved on. Now keep in mind, if he leaves you because you don't give him sex, he just wanted sex. If he treats you any kind of way and disrespects you, he just wanted sex. Because if a man truly cares about you and you tell him, you know what, I'm not doing this with you right now. I'm not going to do this. And if he really cares about you, he'll wait. You'll hear from him again. But if he doesn't care about you and you say you're not giving it up, then he gone. He gone on over to the house next door. He gone to get that other hamburger. That's how you have to look at going into another relationship. Do you want to stay on the hamster wheel? It's time for us, ladies, to take charge of relationships. And if we're going to get in a relationship, and you start by not giving it up, because that's all they care about is it. But now, once you raise the bar and say, I need to know you care about me. And if you don't care about me, then you don't get any of it. We have to stop this cycle of bringing children in the world based on how we feel emotionally. Okay? And if he isn't reciprocating those same feelings to you, then let him move on. Nobody has time for that. Nobody. It's just a waste of time for you. This time that you're spending on this individual can be used towards your child. Remember, I talked about good and bad parenting, and good parenting is teaching. Yes, providing is key, but teaching, because you're no longer a mom, you're a mentor. You are responsible for leading your child or your children to the next stage of life. You're responsible, nobody else. So I encourage you, single mom, please, before you consider getting into that next relationship, having sexual intercourse with him, just make sure you understand he's always going to just want sex. So before you say, hey, call me, come over, let's do this, let's do that, remember what his motives are, because I guarantee you it's not going to be aligned with yours. As I wrap up today, I hope you found this episode valuable, because we're entering into a new year, a new day. There's new problems, new issues that's going to happen. Let's make better choices. And as you raise your children, because remember, they're watching, they're paying attention, and you're setting a standard. And especially if you have a young girl, she sees Bill today, Bob tomorrow. You don't want your children to see that. And children need to be children. Please let them be children. Don't invite them into adult situations. Please, if you just meet this guy, definitely don't bring him around your children. I wouldn't bring him around And me personally, I never brought anyone around my children. For you, if that's something you want to consider, just make sure you let a few months go by, see how things work out before you bring them around your children. Please do that. So as we go into 2024, as we've arrived in 2024, please, Mom, let's go in with a fresh perspective regarding relationships, what they are and what they are not. Again, think about the mindset. Think about the mindset of the man. He just wants sex while you want a relationship. All right, you have a great day. Have a great week. Have a great month. Again, do not allow your problems to paralyze you. You are well on your way in being a good mom. You know how I know? Because you already made the decision to have the child and to take ownership of being a mom. So I know you're not going to allow anything to happen to your children. So that's how I know you're going to do your level best to be there and make sure that they remain in a positive environment. All right. Take care, ladies.